boom, boom. And this shirt is dope. So first time I worn it. Yeah. Yeah. Check it, check it, check it out. The mic, I'm about to wreck it. Might have to hold this. Check, check. YouTube. The whole globe. Everybody tuning in, right? Everybody's tuning in right now. All right. All right. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Let me adjust this. That might be better. Yeah, so there we go. Yep. I'm ready to roll. Ready to roll. Unpaid product placement. Check it out. Check it out. YouTube. The whole globe. All of you tuning in right now. My name is Darius Rhodes. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Getting down with the roughneck business. All right, this is a Darius Rhodes dispatch reflection. Reflection dispatch. Can't remember what I'm calling it. Yeah, so I don't care if anybody's in here. Great if you are. Great if people do arrive. Right now, nobody is in here. There are 0 people in here with me on this live stream, and it does not even matter. That doesn't change my mind. I'm going to do this anyway, and we'll just see how it goes. So I'm not going to play any music. Trying to set that up is a pain in the ass, and I'd love to do it, but again, pain in the butt. Rather just do this simple thing with YouTube, where I can just simply put on my webcam, hold a microphone, and talk. And then hopefully, if people come in, we just chat. If you've read the title, obviously, this is about commissioning artwork for a 7-inch release, a 7-inch vinyl record. You definitely, we call them like 45s, right? Same idea. I'm just trying to put some new physical music out into the world. I've done this in the past, but not 7-inch. I have a 12-inch that I put out a long time ago. Still have several copies of that. If you're interested, let me know. But basically, yeah, I want to, and it's already in the works. I'm getting artwork for a physical release of number one, the song that I put out a few months ago called I'm the Only One That's in My Way. And so that's side A, and I have a side B. And the amazing thing about the side B right now is if you're interested in hearing it and you want to help contribute to getting this artwork done and paid for, then you can click the grouped link to the swap in the comment section. It's in the second link or the second comment. It says swap, it says app.grouped. Or just go to the grouped. You can be a subscriber there, but let's get in it. Let's get in. Let's get to it. You don't get in it. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it right now. What can we talk about? Had a fun time a couple weeks ago. I was performing in Kent, Ohio. That's the most recent show I did. That was, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And lots of fun there. Kent, Ohio is an awesome spot. Really cool city, vibrant, a lot of interesting people. And there's a place there called the Zephyr Pub, which I really dig. Very welcoming atmosphere, lots of cool people, lots of listeners, intellectuals, and just really cool cats and individuals. I like Kent, Ohio a lot. It's the second time I was there. Second time I was there. I don't want it to be the last. I doubt that it will be. What else can we talk about? I did a show the night before that in Pittsburgh, which is basically my home base for music. And basically, wow, I said basically twice there. That's pretty cool. Um, did a show at Remedy, which is, I guess, it's geared toward like a DIY metal or hard rock kind of place, and a punk kind of place. A little too DIY for me, though. A little too DIY. I kind of felt like it was a house party with a liquor license. So that was Remedy. And I've done some shows at Trace Brewing. If you're familiar with Trace Brewing and you're in the Pittsburgh area, you can see me there once or twice a year. I always dig doing that. So shout out to Katie Rado, who is the manager of Trace Brewing and has always welcomed me in her doors, through her doors. Shout out to the bartenders there. I know there's one named Sarah, I believe, who can be very nice. And let's see. Shout out to Lieutenant Head Trip, LT Head Trip, Northern Draw. You see, I'm wearing the shirt here today. Uh, so I think they just wrapped up their Unbound Flight tour. Check out that album if you haven't yet. Shout out to Airy. Shout out to the Discord server for Surface Level Collective. I didn't put that link up there, but if anybody hears this is at all interested, whether you hear it now or hear it later, comment and I can get you the info to that. But the Surface Level Collective Discord, where we have a lot of fun, people popping in and out. But in general, like we talk hip hop, we talk jokes, we share funny stories, we push each other's projects. A lot of us are artists and musicians in that Discord. You don't have to be one to be a member or to just join us in conversation, but it tends to be the case that you're an MC or a beat maker. And yeah, Surface Level Collective Discord. So what's next? So I, again, 7-inch record, trying to put it out in a couple months. The turnaround on it is about a month. So The mixing is 95% done. The artwork is probably 50 to 60% done. And so it's just a matter of me raising a little bit more than I currently have. I raised money through shows over the past year. Um, I couldn't tell you how far it goes back in terms of the amount that I have right now, but certainly several months. And that's going to pretty much pay for, well, it was gonna pay for everything until I started thinking I needed to do more. I needed to get professional artwork done, and so that's changed things. So what I'm trying to avoid is having to order less vinyl, um, because the unit cost is gonna go up. And if I only have so much money, I can only order, so many records. I wanna order fi I wanna get 50 cut, 50 records cut, and if I do that, I save a little bit on each unit, obviously, but it also requires like another $100, $200. I'd have to look. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So I could technically get these things pressed and uh but the issue is I would not have the amount that I want, the amount that I expect that I can sell, especially at shows. I mean, I'd probably sell some on Bandcamp and in person with some people, that it's not at a show, just like they know me. Hey, I heard about it. Let me have one of those records. But a lot of them is probably going to be at shows. So I want to get 50 done. I don't want to be in a position where I'm getting 30 done, and then when I try to sell these, just like breaking even. So that's the predicament I'm in. So if you can help with that, check out the links in the comments. Again, this is a unpaid product placement of Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero Sugar. So I think I'm just going to sit in here and see if anybody pops in. I got nothing to lose here. It's you know, almost a quarter to 7 here in southwestern Pennsylvania, and just chilling, just relaxing. I believe the New York Knicks are playing tonight, so I'm going to be be watching that with my wife, and hopefully they just have an easier time than they did 2 nights ago beating the Cavs. Mm, mm. Stuff's good. Boom, 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 boom. I'm just gonna take a minute. I'm gonna put the mic down. Anybody pops in, I'll of course be ready to have a conversation. Anybody out there? I'm going to read from a mixing cheat sheet. This is like a filibuster. It's like a filibuster. Here we go. All right, we're gonna talk about EQ cuts. All right, from an EQ cheat sheet. If you have a kick drum and you're trying to get some clarity, you're trying to get things to sit right in the mix, you might try cutting below 40 hertz for more headroom. To remove muddiness, cut between 100 hertz and 350 hertz. Cut at 700 to 900 to eliminate boxiness or hollow sounds, and cut after 6,000 hertz if your kick sounds thin or papery. For a snare drum, you want to cut below 100 hertz for headroom, cut at 150 to 300 hertz to remove mud, cut at 450 to 750 for hollowness, and cut between 2,000, and 4,000 if it's too harsh. Cut above 6,000 if you're getting too much sizzle/hiss. Let's talk about lead vocals. You might want to cut below 200 hertz because most lead vocals don't sit here anywhere. Anyway, so that's like the high pass filter, very common. The easiest way to get that done is throw a high pass filter on whatever your SSL equalizer, whatever it might be, and just take that baby to 200. Cutting between 200 and 500 can eliminate muffled sounds. You're probably thinking, oh, you could eliminate some muffled sounds from your mic right now, Darius. You can cut between 500 hertz and 2,000 hertz if your vocals are too harsh. And you can cut after 5,000 hertz if your vocals are too airy or breathy. So there's that. I'm going to do one more. And maybe we should talk about EQ boosts. Nobody talks about EQ boosts. We don't talk about them enough. Let's say that. Let's go. Ooh, yeah. Clean guitars. If you're trying to boost a clean guitar, you will want to carefully boost 1,500 hertz for more prominence. Man, prominence. That was a prominent sneeze. All right. Boost at 2,500 hertz for more bite and aggressiveness. Boost between 7,000 hertz and 11,000 hertz for brilliance and sparkliness. Now, that's for clean guitars. For high gain and distorted guitars, you want to boost between 50 hertz and 85 hertz for depth, sub, and lower frequencies. And you boost from 950 hertz to 1050 hertz for character and distinction. And then you'll boost between 2,000 hertz to 2,500 hertz for grit and presence. Now, what I think is always interesting about these EQ charts is the adjectives. Presence, clarity. What is the other one? Prominence. Like in some instances, it's hard to hear the difference or even understand what the difference is from those, right? Like grit and clarity, I can distinguish, but prominence and what was the other one? I guess clarity and prominence might be distinguishable. Prominence probably has like some meat to it, right? It's like a mid-range, You got mid-range strength, and clarity is more like it's probably higher up the EQ spectrum than prominence, right? It's pulling up some more crisp crisp frequencies. That's probably what that means. But yeah, I love just kind of studying those EQ cheat sheets. Those are fun. And it's a fun thing to learn. If you're a musician and you don't know how to mix, you should learn how to mix. Even if you still are putting together money to have somebody that does it professionally or does it better than uh, you should still mix your stuff just like as a practice. In the same way, I practice guitar, but I don't necessarily bring guitar to a live show, right? It's something that you should learn because it'll help you understand things. You'll understand, uh, the process that an engineer goes through, or you know, and you'll also understand things when you work with a sound engineer at a live show. You'll know things you want to ask about, like so. If there's something you're not hearing, or something you're hearing that you don't like on the mic or from an instrument, it's a good idea to you know the- the- learning engineering and some of these techniques and basic concepts is going to serve you well. I like to say that I'm currently at the situation as an engineer where I can regularly get a mix to a B grade. I can routinely get a mix to a B grade. And what I like to do is work with engineers who are better than I am. Uh, one and two, it's another set of ears, so they can look at things more critically. And at the same time, it seems strange to say, but also be less sensitive to things, right? Like when you do it, you can be very sensitive to things. So like sometimes maybe I don't like the way a verse was spit, um, but maybe I do like it more 5 days later or the next day, right? I feel like engineers kind of have that natural. They're always in that 5 days later situation. If if it's not something that they worked on, so they're not like looking for the things that an artist is probably being overly conscious about. But they're also looking or listening objectively. So it's an interesting balance there. Where was I going with that? I completely lost my train of thought. That's not fun. I know we were talking about engineering and why an artist or musician should learn engineering even if they get professionals to mix most of their songs. You should still learn the craft. Microphones. Let's not talk about microphones. That doesn't seem that exciting to me. That doesn't seem very interesting. Keyboards. Keyboards are at the same level as microphones in terms of the interesting. Like in a room with 100 people, yeah, there's probably like 5 to 10 that would find it interesting. We're currently in a room with one person, and that would be me. That would be me. So, my name is Darius Rhodes. Once again, if somehow you're just joining us, I don't know how that would be. Like, say tomorrow, how would you just be joining us 25 minutes into this live stream? I don't know that that makes any sense. But anyway, I am commissioning or trying to raise funds to commission artwork for a 7-inch vinyl release. The links to the opportunity for you to contribute to that, if you so uh, desire are in the comments section here. And basically, you do PayPal. You can do you have my handle for Venmo. If you do Venmo, I have a grouped. I don't call it a community because it's a lot like this live stream. A lot of the times, not everybody's uh, checking in. I get some views. I get some likes. Sometimes I get a sub. Sometimes I get tips. But bottom line is, and I do these swaps on there where you can hear, for example, relevant to today, the 7-inch B side in exchange for a small contribution through the grouped swap that is linked in the second comment. And so, yeah, as I was saying, I don't call it a community. It's not a, it's, I don't call it even a, it's closer to a fan club, but it's not like fans are in there praising me all day. And I don't expect that. It's like a hub. It's like, it's like my laboratory in a sense, as well as my auditorium or the place where I would present. So I put demos on this thing. I put demos in this hub. I put uh, just like thoughts. I did a 12-minute reflection on my experience a couple weeks ago with 2 shows in a row and the Unbound Flight Tour. I did that whole reflection. So there's audio reflections. Sometimes there's like songwriting process explanations or stories, and then I already mentioned demos. I give Bandcamp codes and downloads to my group members. Down those Darius roads, you can download on Down those Darius roads. So you get, the music ahead of everybody. You get discounts. If you become a super fan, that is like only a super fan would be like, I get discounts. So bottom line is alternative hip hop, if you're going to put a label on it. Um, and what that means to me is number one, a lot of guitar because I picked up the guitar and I just love playing it. So it just naturally, there's going to be a lot of guitar in it. And this songwriting content itself is an alternative to uh, really anything, not just mainstream hip hop, but even a lot of alternative hip hop can be very abstract and not like the alternative hip hop I make. It's more like an indie hip hop, art rap kind of thing. Um, and my music can be abstract, but it's abstract in a different way. It's very much grounded too, and there's storytelling and it's introspective. So, um, yeah, that's the kind of music I make. I did an album last year with Jumbled from Baltimore, producer from Baltimore, and it's called "Saw the Landmark, Missed the Turn," and it's a really dope collaboration that kind of meshes like the early aughts indie hip hop sound with like live laid down bass lines from a bass player and like 70s synthesizer sounds and pads with some really cool storytelling. I call it the almost concept album. Uh, and in its own way, that is itself a concept. So it's some of the best songs on there were probably Lakeview Lease on Life. I still get fans from that song of the Bandcamp. You can get codes for it sometimes, and might be out of codes at this point, but that's a heartfelt song about uh, a man who loses the love of his life, and he goes up to this lake that they used to go to together, and so it's just this whole story. Uh, uh, whole story is just explained in the song. It's one long verse, no hook. Um, and Are We Gonna Raise the Roof is part disaffected, part patriotic, part, and when I say patriotic, you and I might have two different definitions of patriotism. It's more like protest. It's a protest rap, and it is anti-war. And some people understand that, and some people get offended when they hear the lyrics. That's fine. That's very American. You can be offended all you want from my lyrics, um, and I have every right to write them and deliver them. So get offended if that suits you. If it suits you not to be offended, which makes more sense to me, uh, that's fine too. That's fine too. Maybe I should spit some lyrics. Maybe I should spit some lyrics. Let's see. Yeah, I could do that. I mentioned Lakeview Lease on Life. Let's do Lakeview Lease on Life. And that gives me an idea. Maybe in the future, if I do another one of these live streams where I'm just talking to myself for 30 minutes, I could have background images ready to just switch. So no software, still keeping it simple. Thank you, YouTube, for making it simple like this. This is all I need. Um, but yeah, you might be able to have scenes. I might have to do that. All right. All right. So this song is called Lakeview Lease on Life. Check it out. Just one more sip of the last bit of cold coffee. Tipped the waitress a few plus the change to drive up to the lake that he knew. Had to fill the tank. The wind was so cold it cut his face. Off season, but he had a good reason he lost her. Knew he was wrong, but he blamed and strangled the doctor. No regrets. They spent 23 years. This cliche, but they shed plenty of tears, drank many beers, had so many good times they never thought it would. Reached the ending of the book, never thought it could. Go out like a candle flame, the way a 10-year-old makes a wish upon his birthday and has the first slice of cake. Swallowed his pain and emotion. He knows he'll never hand another woman the same devotion. Life's roller coasting with the ups and downs, wondering you're strapped in. Will you once again touch the ground so profound he saw a flock of birds above the water's edge? That's when he pulled to the curb, unbuckled the belt, left the key in the ignition. No one else around except the local man fishing. Spotted the bench he used to sit on with a bottle or two. She'd rest her head upon his chest. A love that was true. Counted stars together, remarked upon the moonlight. What's the good of a lease on a new life? Without her, he pondered. Without her, he pondered. He heard her voice say, there's so much more to do. He left the bench, checked his watch, and realized hours had passed, needed a bed. Something any man could call a roof, room 13, said the motel manager, swung the door to the smell of spilled booze, sand, and dirt. No matter he thought, she'd say it was perfect. Swore to God at that moment he smelled the scent of her perfume. It was dark. The bedside lamp in his purview peeled his boots off his barking dogs, laid down on a worn out comforter, and rested like his muffler, closed his eyes and said quietly, I love her. Lakeview Lease on Life. Dun, 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 dun. We recently took that out of the set list. Yeah, the last two shows that did not do Lakeview Lease on Life. Um, I know we did it at Trace in February. I'm trying to think what shows came after that. But yeah, it's definitely one of my better pieces of work, and I think it's really cool that when did that come out? Came out like February 2025. So it's still resonating with people. One person at a time, it's resonating. Unless I'm at a show and there's, 10 or 15 people have never heard of it before. But like in the online world, it's resonating one person at a time. And that is fine because that's the kind of song it is. It's not a shallow song. It is a deep and emotional song with a universal theme, something that everybody can understand. That's going to go through it in one way or another in their life. Might not be your girlfriend or your wife or your husband, the loss of a mother, the loss of a child. Hope not. But that that's the experience. And that's why it gets me to the point of believing that songwriters are a conduit. Songwriters are a conduit working with the universe. And I'm not the first to say this. It's been said in various ways from artists uh, that make a living and have you know put so much time in. They've come to the same conclusion, and that is that like sometimes you're not telling your story or sharing a story that you're writing. It's maybe you are, but maybe you're not. And what I mean is you are a conduit for a story that needed to be told from some soul, some being in the universe. And the reason that you have been chosen, if you've been chosen at all to do that, is because of the concept of 10,000 hours, or the concept that the fact that you're passionate about music and you've spent a lifetime writing songs. Um, so it's both you're getting into a creative flow, so you're entering a creative avenue or realm, dimension. Maybe that's a little much, but and because you're there, you get chosen. Or maybe because you're there, it's like wind coming through, right? Blowing through the wind. And you can either take it and grab it, or you can do the lazy thing, which is, I'll get to this another day. And then you sit down and watch Netflix, whatever you do when you're not writing songs, when you have the opportunity and you abandon it. Um, you've abandoned that opportunity. You might write something. And if you're lucky, that wind stuck around. So maybe you get to it the first thing in the morning, and maybe that wind or that spirit or that being respects that enough to where they're like, okay, he's still doing the thing he loves, or she's doing what she wants. And so here you go. And that story is placed in your palm once again through the pen, uh, or not. And I think that's what it is for a lot of artists, is understanding that. Once you understand that, you respect the craft more, and you don't squander those moments and opportunities. Uh, and so even when it pains you, even when it's like, I really don't want to do this right now. I don't know if it worked if you really don't want to do it. But even when the big part of you is saying, man, I'd rather just go watch a movie. When you respect the precariousness of it, maybe, but just the fact that it can just slip right through your fingers. When you respect that, it respects back, and you start to appreciate just how important it is to not only live in the moment, but write in the moment. And when that moment comes, you've got to respect it and you've got to see it through. And you'll see some of your best work. 100%. All right. This is the 40-minute mark. Nobody's in here but me. So I'm gonna leave it at this. Again, I am trying to press a 7-inch vinyl record. In order for me to do so, I need a little bit more help. So if you're interested in helping so that I can pay for artwork and get this vinyl cut, and give it get it in the hands of people who care. Um, there's a couple links in the comments. Leave it at that. Darius Rhodes, I'm out. Peace and happiness.